Hello and welcome. I'm Fuzzy Logic and I've been playing Solve and I am going to be running through one of a list that I like to run in my ranked games. Um, just showing you how I play it and hopefully a good game with it. Um, so the list is an undead list and let's start with the Vampire Dread Knight unit. This is the meat of this. It's over half the points. It is while it's on the field, you always have a chance to win. Um, Extremely good unit, uh, and yeah, just pricey, and you've got to look after it and try and get the fights you want with it while you play. So here it is. We have the Vampire. Extremely good character. Starts at skill 5. Given her a grey weapon, gets her up to power 5, and she's defense 5 because of heavy armor, meaning that she's got a decent chance in a duel of surviving, and also with True Strike gives her a bit more consistent damage output with the power 5 grey weapon, and consistent damage output at power 5 in this unit, which is one of the things I really want. Um, she, spell-wise, has Hexaprune to swing the combats, mainly on other units, but sometimes on her own, especially after the charge. Reanimate, which you always want to be using on the Dread Knights if possible. Sometimes you might use it elsewhere if you just need a unit to survive, and it's very important it does, or something like that. And then Unholy Vigor, which is a really good buff that vampires and undead have got in general, to keep the rest of the army, undead army, up with your vampire knights, or extend the range, charge range, to get you that into that combat, which is what you really want with the dread knights. Okay, so and let's talk about these dread knights a bit. So the dread knights, I've given Lancer Shield because their job is to survive. They get up to defense 6, which is an excellent breakpoint. They're still power 4, power 6 on the charge, so you've got plenty of high strength attacks. Skill 4 gives them a bit more defense. The thing they are a bit vulnerable to spiky rolls. Like you can just lose a few if you lose a combat and crumble. It will be really painful on this unit. But yeah, hopefully your quality of your attacks will allow you to win combat, and your high defense will mean you don't take too many casualties, and then you can reanimate to keep your numbers high. Um, okay, so that is the lovely unit that you're trying to do main bit of lifting with. Now onto the rest. So you have the core, which is zombies and skeletons. They're just their job is to protect the flanks of the vampire knights. They will advance up the board. You can vigor them to get them in where you need to go, and they will, stand and fight and crumble and die, but they will hopefully take a few wounds, mainly maybe with Hex to help them out in the fight. But they will allow the Vampire Knights to chew through whatever they're trying to kill, and then turn around and mop up. That's what their job is. And then finally, you have two direwolves, which are your fast flankers. Good damage, especially again with Hex. If you can pop a Hex on something, often they will be saving on sixes, so it's the amount of hits you do, they get 6 plus save, and that can be a lot of damage, and you can win charges with them, and then you can turn and run down your opposition. So there you go, that's the list. I really enjoy this list. I think it's got a lot of finesse and with it to try and engineer the combats you want. But let's see if I can get a good match with it and show you what I'm thinking about as I'm playing. Okay, here we go. We are starting. Game against Daniel Nogal, another undead. Um, Level 26, so probably knows what they're doing. Alright, two objectives. So he can, as an undead player, have a catapult. I'm putting the dogs on the flanks. I've got to choose whether I want to screen the vampire or I want to put her on the front line. That is my current choice, because I can either look after her and make sure she doesn't get hit by a rock early, like this. Strength 5 rock, I do get 3 up save against because I've got defense 6 on the units. I think I will risk it. Because the thing I want to do is get in into combat with the vampire. That is the aim. So we want to do that as quickly as possible. So I've set up this again. 2 units protecting the flank. Vampire in the middle. Dogs flanking finally. Okay, so the catapult's over there. So let's have a look at its sight arc. So it can see the vampire knights. So he could throw at them if he wishes. They've got skeleton knights, so I'm just a bit better than them. Combat-wise, he's got 2 bigger dog blocks and a big skeleton block. He is running reanimate, relentless. He's hit off the dogs. I've saved very well. That's quite fortunate. Should have taken 2 to 3 of those on an average day. Okay, so one thing his lance and shield, so very similar to me, except my unit's beefier and he's got in some ranged. We're equal on units, so nobody's got any passes. Yeah. Okay. So he's got heavy armor, so we are the same speed. Everything is very similar lists, really. Okay, so the thing I want to do here is I'm just going to threaten the catapult and say, unless you do something about it, I'm going to take this. There's no point being quite so close to the building, and I can get slightly better arc to make sure this unit can't do anything sneaky. Spears against warriors. It's not the most ideal. He wants to be charged and I want to charge because I get +1 strength on charge. He wants to be judged because he gets plus rank attacks, which beats +1 strength on the charge. Well, I'm pretty sure mathematically it does. 50% more attacks as opposed to, you know, 1 worse save is what it will be. So that is not ideal. If he wants to do that, he's got it first turn, so I'm happy about that. And I can just do this again. I just want to make sure I'm not getting a cheeky flank by any vampire knights. I don't need to. I mean, yeah, I can't make the objective, so I don't need to be any higher up. So this moves up, and I tend to contest the objective next round and sit there and probably won't charge his spears. I can live with a delaying the engagement. So if he offers me the charge, I'll just sit there and say no, I'm not going to charge until he charges me. Yeah, so that's how I see that flank going. This one's a little more interesting on this side, and we'll see what happens here. I think I've definitely done alright by going second. It has aided me, especially now the robber hit didn't do too much damage. These 2 6 dogs and 5 vampire knights, so he's got slightly bigger units than me. The 6 dogs, I mean, again, when I was describing the list, this is the unit. The Dread Knights is the unit. So, what I really want is, or what I really don't care about, is having fights with the other units. So, I'm actually going to try and delay a bit. Not engage too heavily. So I'm going to save the dogs, although it's kind of pointless. So yeah, no, actually I will move these just in case, but I don't want to fight yet, so I'm just going to sit here and say, oh, this actually got me being in It's very close to me being able to charge him. But also the dog fight, because of their strengths being 4 or 5 and their defense being 3, it actually doesn't matter too much if you charge, unless you do some spells to chime in on that. But yeah, I'm just gonna pop them there, just out of just out of range, just delay. If there was a shooting army matched off against me, I'd probably be going for quick engagements with the dogs. They may well die and lose those engagements, but they will just do the damage that they can do before being taken off. But yeah. So, dogs just come up. So his advantage is he gets to declare charges first. So for instance, if he moved the vampires up, this unit up here, and I moved it up here, he could just charge me with the dogs first if I wanted to. And I want to fight his vampire. I think that's a good fight for me. He's gone and claimed the central objective. Oh, but the zombies can make it, which is nice into combat. I mean, it's not the best fight for me, because he's defense 3 and power 2. He's skill 3 and skill 2, and he's power higher, so this is actually he's only got 6 wounds. That's what his weakness is, but if I don't roll good hits, or if he rolls his saves, I could well lose the entire 15 zombies to the 6 direwolves. It's a real possibility. It's definitely a viable hex target to try and make me win this combat. But we'll see what he does here, because if he's quite reserved with his vampire unit, then I may well be reserved with mine. Hex the wolves as charge with the zombies. Hex the wolves to try and remove this unit with the zombies. 14 attacks. I should hit 7. If he's defense effectively 0, he's got a 5 up save against my power 2. So he saves on 5s. So I do 7 hits. I kill 4. No, so he's buffed his move. Which no is like you haven't got anything else to do first turn, so that's fair. But he's not moved up. Okay. So, which is interesting, because yeah, I'd have to be here to charge him, because I can buff and will buff my own move as well. But then the dogs can countercharge me. So he's actually playing him safe. So I will respect that. I will Unholy Vigor my own move, because I think that is move. The zombies will make combat, so they don't need it. Yeah, they will make combat, so they don't need it. And the only other unit I can do it on skeletons. Skeletons could use it, maybe, but I don't. It's possible they could use it, but I think myself being the big unit is the most impactful. So I'm going to move up a little bit, but not too much. Just to here, it will clearly allow me to counter with the zombies, because the zombies are closer, but just gets me a little closer to the action. Okay, so 2 charges coming in here, the direwolves into the catapult, and the zombies into these direwolves. I'm planning to hex the wolves to try and win this combat. I don't expect to win it round 1, but if I can kill 3 or 4 or even 5 direwolves, then suddenly round 2 I will have still, I don't know, 8 zombies maybe, hopefully, and he will be down to 1 wolf, and so I win in the long grind. I'm going to take the catapult as well. It's worth more points than me. And if he turns around with these skeletons to kill my dogs, these skeletons will run up behind him, and I'll get a good combat against them. So again, that is all my charges. I could charge that, and he couldn't charge me. There's a slight difference on angles and such, but as I said before, I'm not really interested in that fight early. I can, that unit just directly counts that unit. He's worth more points. Yeah. So I charge last, so he goes first, which means again I get to react. So I think this is still quite good for me. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's in a tough spot. So this unit either comes forwards and stands on the objective, and then I'll do the same with the skeleton warriors. And then I will try to avoid charging him. Basically, I'll be like, nah, I'm alright. I'll stay here. You crack on. And then the dogs will should beat the catapult over. If not round one, then maybe a couple of rounds. And then turn around and suddenly I have the skeleton spears on two sides. So he's moved forwards here. He's put them solidly in the flank of the zombies. So question is it time to fight? I could run away, something like that. Just say let's do it later. This means he does get to pop them into the flank of the zombies. But if he does put them in, then I will be able to move the wolves up and have a rear. So again, I don't think I'm very interested in fighting him right now. The fights I want, again, this angle thing is meaning that I may well get the charge and option to charge if I want. But yeah, no, I think I delay. And we will just continue the dance. So yeah, this is, I think, something that can be a real trap in gameplay, is taking a charge when you've got it. You don't have to, is the thing. So I am going to go over to this side a bit with the skeleton unit. Again, pointing it this way, just to make sure this vampire and skeleton knight can't do anything cheeky to get a flank charge or something. I don't see it happening, but you know, I just want to be stood in front on this objective with these skeleton spears, so I may as well use the movement to put myself slightly this way, just to make sure I don't get that coming through when I don't think it should. So, it's your play with the knights. This is a tough one. Honestly, I think, yeah, the fact I went second is quite a major boon, and I've managed to hold on to it with more charges. So, because whoever charges last, moves last. So, the fact I got to charge twice made sure I was charging last. So, yeah, my move came last. Alright, looks like we might be on with the big fight in the middle. I mean, the problem for him is that he doesn't really have a huge other choice, right? We will just have to see how it goes. I mean, it's a dice game, so it might always explode in my face. Again, I'm trying to choose where the engagement is going to end up, because it splits halfway in between us. I'm most afraid of this flank with the two direwolf units, so I am trying to make the fight happen over here. So let's pop him over there. I'm going to use a hex on the direwolves to try and make me win this fight. Maybe not immediately, but in the long run. There we go. Can I hit 6? 1 below average? Fine. Saves 4? Yeah, okay. He hits 7, which is a bit below his average. I save 1. So, yeah. And how many crumble? 3. So that's relatively painful. But we are now fighting 2 dogs against 6 zombies. Get a couple of wounds through here. He saves 1. I take 1. But either way, I win combat, so he's going to crumble. He crumbles 2, so he's still here. So but I need 1 more wound, and he pops. And so here we go. Time to do charges. So yes, the big fight happening for all the beans. 6 against 2. Oh, now I can't intercept because I'm not closer. That's fair enough, but it's not what I was really banking on anyway. I'm not going to charge the spears. So I leave it here. He can charge me now and I won't get my charge bonus. But that's an even fight. Fair enough. I'm not charging the spears. It's better than me charging him to an uneven fight. Right? So he can fight it if he likes. That is up to him. He chooses not to, which I'm very happy with. I'm worth more points than him. And he literally... He does have an activation, 2 activations, the spears, which I don't think can even pivot because I'm too close, and his vampire. But either way, we move this unit up. We will take these dire wolves off with a rear charge, hopefully next turn, or at least, yeah, over 2 rounds I should get them. This is the interesting one. The dire wolves probably should live. Unless I hex them. I'm not particularly interested in hexing them. This is the important fight in the middle. Let's see. I can't pivot, so I don't think he can pivot. And I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. I'm just going to pivot it slightly this way. And that. So I say that I am slightly paranoid. I definitely don't want him pivoting, so I'm going to move in just a bit closer. There we go. That is definitely not getting out of there. Cannot pivot through an enemy unit, so he's trapped as well as me. So he's just skipped. He's done it all. He says I'm not doing anything else. He hasn't got anything to raise. He hasn't got unless he's raised cat's bowl, which is just in combat with dogs. Which would be an ambitious move. So I could save the hex for round 2, or I could. Here's more impactful round 2, but assuming I actually lose some pieces, which I should assume, I will be. So yeah, no, I am going to hex him. As the main objective here is to kill the vampire. If I get these dogs, it'd be great. I shouldn't, but I do. So that is very fortunate. I expect to all die, but that is fine. Expected. The zombies did their job. They stopped the wolves fighting what he wanted to fight. Right, fit 4 here. Should take this cast bolt. Don't take the cast bolt. I might run if I don't save this. I do save this. Okay, so it's draw. We just do it again next round. Now this is the big one. 4 attacks. It's 4. I save none. I die. That's really bad. I miss and I hit, and he saves 1. That is really bad. Okay, so he hits some. I save most. I hit 4, and he saves 2 on the 6s. I win by 1, so he does crumble. He crumbles 3, so there's some mercy. But that fight has gone poorly. And of course I stop him doing this. It's still very much a game. And he is charging here, so I will counter this time because it will give me the strength, so I should have the advantage round 1. If I cleared this, I would be 10-14. raises, yeah, as he should. So, come on, kill the catapult. I need this unit. Thank you. I mean, I'd like not shy, but there you go. Okay, that's nice. This is, I would like to hold, is what I'd like to do here. 3s, take a wound. So here, that's quite painful, but 2 plus saves, take 2 wounds. I've hit 6, which is pretty good, and I've done 3, so I win again, so he's going to crumble once more. Yeah, so, despite that backfire death, looking good, but he hits really well. I save above average though as well. I hit average, slightly below, he saves better, so he wins, and I crumble. So this is not going well. I was hoping, well, the odds were in my favour, but so it goes. 2 dead dogs, fine. He holds, that's really good for him as well, because if he ran here, then I get to flank this, and I'd probably take the skeletons there. So I've got no charges, and that is suddenly much more easy to fight. But I'm up a dog. He's popped all back on again. So now, when you have a unit like this free, you want to give yourself options. There's 2 combats here and here, that are going on. I might struggle to fit in on this corner, but there's not anything I can do about that. So if I can get in the rear arc of this unit and the flank arc of that, that is the ideal place to be. So that is where I'm going to try and put myself. You want to draw a line of sight from the centre of your unit arc to the centre of the face you're charging. So you need to be able to do that. Enemy in the rear. Yeah, so over my centre of the unit's not is in the rear. And have I got line of sight? I don't, so I might only get a flank on this skeleton spear block. So how are we looking? Yeah, looks like a flank to me. But you can't have everything. And so that is very close. That could be either. And I can see the back, so I will go for this. And we'll see. Okay, so I'm relying on my armour. Can my armour stick it through? Yes, there. 6 hits, good again. 1 wound. Can I? Oh, 6 hits, very nice. Should be 4. And I do 4 wounds. Bloody hell. His knights are. Oh, and he's packed it in. Yeah, I mean, so he was about to crumble D3. I don't think that was quite over for him. I wouldn't have conceded that if I was him. The things that could happen in that would be the spear skeleton should beat my hand weapon shield, especially after the first round went badly for me. He's now just got 20 something attacks. 20 attacks ish. I think I had down to that against my 10-ish, and they're the same quality. So he should just win over a round or 2, and then he has that objective. The dogs are fighting the dogs on the other side. I'm up 1, but that's a swingy combat. If he wins that as well, suddenly he's in charge of both objectives. And then he starts scoring objective points. He was already up 50 points on the objective here. So he could have tried to, if he won both the outside, the periphery fights, I should take the middle fight, but I don't really have a way to deal with, 15 odd skeletons sat on an objective. So if he just caps the points for a couple of turns, he might have taken that. But yeah, no, a good game. I think a solid. I just think I had the advantage with going first, and I like my list better. But that's more preference. He's definitely running. That's a very respectable list, no doubt about it. But yeah, okay. Well, please like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Fuzzy Logic, and see you on the ranked ladder.